In terms of the pitch clock specifically, now I did see they have numbers in terms of what the breakdown is. So for the month of April, the committee did a month by month look. The month of April, the average game time, 2 hours and 37 minutes.
Jeez.
And then it increased from April. Each month it steadily increased, and by September it was 2 hours and 44 minutes. So the whole reasoning behind eliminating those extra 2 seconds on the pitch clock is because they're trying to get that 244 back down to 237. They want that number to be more around 2 hours and 37 minutes for a game. Now, to be honest, is anybody sitting watching the game like, oh, they went 7 minutes over?
No.
This went 7 minutes longer out of my day, and now I can't get to the next movie or game or whatever it is that I'm doing. Like, what is 7 minutes? But I guess maybe on the other side of it, it's because right now it's 7 minutes, and it could become 14 minutes or 28 minutes. Let's just keep going multiples of 7. It could be, after that 35 minutes and just continue steadily increasing, that now what was just a minor 7 minute increase then is increasing, and now the games are longer.
Yeah, I get that they're trying to.
I don't know.
Because here's the thing. I say this a lot because I hated the pitch clock rule when it was first implemented, and then I watched the full season of it, and it really didn't impact me in any way.
Right.
I love the game of baseball. I will always love the game of baseball. If you want me to sit down for 3.5 hours to watch the game, if I've dedicated that time, I'm going to do it. Yeah. But I understand this rule was not made for me because I'm going to watch the game no matter what.
Yeah, it's not.
This rule was made for somebody who doesn't want to sit for 3.5 hours, but they want to sit. They're willing to sit for 2:15, 2:30 with a little bit of a sped up time frame. And so the first implementation, although I didn't like it at the onset, I think actually ended up working for the game of baseball. The pace quickened.
Yeah.
You weren't sitting around. There wasn't as much dead period inside the game. And because of that, you got more, I don't know tangibly, but I feel like you got more viewership. You drop it again, you're speeding up the game a little bit even further. These pitchers are going to start to rush unless you're Craig Kimbrell and you just say, I don't care, and then just give me the balk because I'm a loser. I think at some point the pitch clock is going to get sped up so much it becomes detrimental.
Yeah. Listen, I do think when you look at the different types of fans, from the casual fan to like the true fan, the diehard fans, they're trying to really appeal to all of that. Because
Correct.
Baseball has notorious, like one of the biggest things about baseball and the whole vibe and culture around baseball is like, you're out there all day, you're eating hot dogs and popcorn and beer, you're relaxing with the family. Typically they'll have, some ballparks will have stuff for the kids to do, like different activities and stuff. It's like a whole day event. Like that's part of what baseball, in my opinion, growing up especially, was always like. You expected you're gonna be there all day. But now, selfishly, as someone that's covered baseball, I did get annoyed because it's like, oh, you don't know how long you're going to be working the game for. It could be 2.5 hours. It could be 4.5 hours. You have no idea how long you're going to be there for. So selfishly, from a planning perspective, it makes it tough. But I think from like a overall America's game of just fun day, that part made it fine that the games are longer. But I feel like now, business-wise, now you can also, aside from just the casual fans that you might attract, you can also go to any business sponsor, whatever it is, and say, okay, this is how long the game's going to be. We can give you this, this, and this. Like, I think it even just from that business mindset might even be more helpful, that every game is a little bit more structured in terms of how long it's going to be. As we know with sports, you never know what overtime is going to bring.
Sure.
Or if there's going to be a major injury that delays the game, or any sort of delays. Maybe fans aren't on the field. Like, you never know what could delay the game. But you also understand, okay, typically a game's going to run you about 2.5 to 2:45 that you're going to be expected to be at the game. So now we can plan more, and we can know we're going to do this at this time, this at this time. So I also think there's always money at the bottom dollar of everything.
Sure.
And I imagine, aside from ticket sales, which is money, and getting more viewers, more money, is maybe even on the other side in terms of businesses, commercials, all that, TV slots, like probably helps in the long run financially too for the league.
Yeah, I think Greg made a good point, and I don't want to be like generation specific, but I think he's correct. Like Gen Z's attention span is that of a squirrel.
Yeah.
Like millennials' attention span's pretty bad.
And that's a good point too.
Gen Z's is worse, and
if
so
it's not a TikTok, you're losing people.
And so
like,
that's the thing.
they don't want to pay attention.
If you shorten the game, and you're able to market it via social media, where if I see a clip, like the NBA kills social media.
Yes.
They're so good at it. If I see a clip of Giannis just absolutely postering somebody, I might go watch Giannis's next game as a Gen Z. Like,
Right.
let's under the assumption that I don't know a whole lot about the sport.
Yeah, for sure.
If I watch an at-bat, does that tune me in?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if I watch Shohei Ohtani do something spectacular, it's like that scene in The Incredibles. What are you waiting for? Something incredible, I guess, or whatever he says.
Yeah, look at
like,
you.
that's kind of like... I understand. It pains me to watch the game get truncated because of money and viewership, but I get it.
I do get
it.
it.
I understand it.
We are in a microwave society. Everyone's attention span is so short, and they cannot handle. I mean, the fact that you guys can handle tuning in for the show an hour, and as Eugene Krabs may or may not be pointing out in the chat, it is over an hour, and I am the common denominator. It's me, but it is you too, though.
It's me.
You're always here too. Okay,
I'm a problem.
It's not just me, guys. You are also always, whether you're on the show, on camera, or behind, you're involved. So I'm not taking all the heat, but not everybody can handle sitting down and tuning into a game or a show or a movie or whatever it may be for a long period of time. They prefer to just get the Spark Notes version. So I do feel like I see the other side, the business side. They are targeting a whole different audience with that. Lisa, I agree with you. You're saying you enjoy those summer nights outside, so the length of the game doesn't matter to you. Yeah, I agree. I think there are true fans that are just expecting and ready. It's game day. I'm just going to be there all day. I'm going to be there with my family. I'm going to enjoy it. And that's how I look at sports. Like, if I'm going to a game that typically is like the entire day, whether you're tailgating or whatever it may be.
That's the
like,
event.
It is the event for the day. It's not like I'm going to go to the game and then go out with, I don't know. I don't even know what that's
now
like.
In my advanced age of 30, I don't want to go out afterwards.
No, and I
home.
used to.
Right, so
but
that's what I'm
now
saying.
it's like after the game's over, I'm like, that's it. This is the final thing I'm doing for the day.
The
last part of my itinerary.
Exactly. So if the game gets shrunk by even a half an hour, let's say it was 3:08 and now it's 2:38 or whatever it comes out to be.
Yeah.
If you get that extra half an hour back, does that maybe prompt you to go get a drink afterwards?
Right.
At a local establishment? You know the teams are pairing with the local establishments, whether it be here at the sports complex or elsewhere, whatever's around, you know there is some semblance of show your ticket, get your first drink half off. Or during the last 3 innings of the game, beverages are, whatever.
Yeah, I love that.
So that's what I'm saying. So if they truncate the game, you might get people even like myself who loves the game of baseball to go grab a beer afterwards, to go grab a bite to eat.
Because the night it's still young.
The
technically.
night is young. You get me.
It's still
you get me out
sometimes
at
daytime, depending on what time the game starts.
Oh, and especially with the games now being 6:05.
Like
you get me out at 9 o'clock. I'm probably gonna go out.
I now have a whole hour before my bedtime.
10:15, 10:30. Probably not anymore. Going home.